Hi, welcome to the live session or live tutorial session on Matlab tutorial series. So in this tutorial video, we are going to talk about today about the different plots and how to make different plots in Matlab. Okay, and we will be learning some other. We will be learning through the different questionnaires and through different exercises, and I will be demonstrating live everything so you people can have a better understanding of the same concepts. Further, as we told in our earlier video, we also uh, have initiated in order to make this entire live session more attractive. We will be also asking some questions in between, and if you give the right answer, then you will be eligible to get some exciting prizes. Now prizes will be sent to you after getting some form filled from you, and then you can you can get your prize. Okay, so let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes for others to join, and then we will start it. In the meantime, let's have a brief about JCB Labs. So we provide online training, helping technical assignments, and we also do industrial projects and freelance projects based on data science, Python, machine learning, embedded system, etc. So if you have any such requirement or any doubt related to these fields, you can contact us through our website, which is www.jcbrolabs.org. Okay, you can also mail us at info@jcbrolabs.org. Okay, so let's start with the basic concept. As I said, in today's video, we are going to talk about the basic fundamentals of the plotting. So this plotting is a very fundamental for the scientific community. Okay, and most of the time MATLAB is used for the simulation for different kind of simulations and for other research related kind of. So that is why it will be useful for you. So what do we mean by when we say plotting? So plotting means let's select this one. Okay. Plotting means, let's say you have any function y equals to x square plus 4x plus 5, and you want to plot it on MATLAB, right? So the graph will be something, because it is a parabola, so I'm not mentioning the scales right now. So graph would be like this. So you want to display this graph. Similarly, there could be other equations other than this, or other polynomials which you wanted to be plotted, right? So in this MATLAB, we will, and this today's session, we will be learning all this stuff. That is how to do it. Okay, so let's take the same example, this one. So here on x-axis we have x, and on this y-axis we have y. Now if we want to plot this, so think about from your elementary school plotting. If you want to plot something, you need some data points, right? So let's say this is x and y, so you want data points like this, like this, like this. Okay, and so on. So let's say if you want to plot from -10 to +10, so you got the point 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and similarly -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. Okay, similarly in order to plot this thing, uh, here we got this point, and then we put individual value into this polynomial, and then we got the value of y for each one. So similarly, if we have point, we got 1, so let's say we got this point, we got this point, we got this, and then we say okay, we just club it together and say this is the plot. So exactly this is done in MATLAB as well, right? So now how to do in MATLAB, we will see in a while. Okay, so first of all, here we have to create this x-axis, right? So here this is the x-axis, or I should say the x vector. So we have to create this x vector here, which can contain the information from -10 to uh, plus 10. So -10, -9, -8, -5, and so on, and 9 to 10. So if we are plotting from -1, so we have to create this kind of vector, and then we will put this vector directly into this equation, and then we will compute y. Okay, so we will see how to do this entire operation in MATLAB. Let's open MATLAB now. Okay, so here is MATLAB. Right. Okay, let's see. Yep. Tushar has asked a question like, sir, kya aap aaj yes, we will be going to ask some questions again today. Okay, so let's change this to the desktop. Okay, 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 let's change it to the same location where we have put all other files. Here, select folder. Okay, Divyanshu Sharma, I will try to speak louder and let me know if my voice is audible enough or not. Okay, now today's question, here we are going to ask the today's question. So today's question is, how do we make element by element multiplication in MATLAB? So I hope you have gone through our previous tutorial series. So how do we make element by element multiplication in MATLAB? Okay, so this is the question. Whoever will give the answer first, he will be eligible for the cash prize. Okay then. In the meantime, I give you time to think about it. In the meantime, let's continue. So as I said, we have to create this vector x. So I will create x equals to let's say -10 to 10. Okay, so you know from our last class we can create a vector x by this. So if I double click here, you will see this one. Tushar, wrong answer. My question was by which operator you can do this one. That means what is the symbol, or what symbol we use for the element by element multiplication of two arrays. Okay, and so here we have created this entire list. Okay, now because next step is to create next step is to get the equation. Okay, so this is x square plus 4x plus 5, right? So we have to implement this equation. Based on that, we have created x already. Okay, now go to here. So I'm going to use that particular operator here. So after this, that question will no longer be valid. Okay, so as we mentioned in earlier class, we use this dot sign in order to create the element by element multiplication, and then this will be x square plus, so then it is 4x plus 5. Okay, so here we have created x square, then 4 into x plus 5. Simple. So we have implemented that particular polynomial here. So y is here. Now coming to our part, which we because we want to plot it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we will get more space here. So there is a command plot y. Okay, So if you simply plot will appear, but you won't be able to see it because it is appearing in the next window. So I will dock into the same window here. Okay, so here you see the plot. Now in this plot, if you look at the numbers, you see it is starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and up to 20, right? So right now it is not showing the value of x. It is showing simply the index number of the array. So index number of the array is -10, -8. That means the index number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is exactly is on x-axis right now. But let's say if we want to make the x-axis to represent the values which we have on x-axis, then we have another plot command. Let's CLC. We will simply plot x comma y. Okay, so if I do that, yeah, now you can see the values are for -10 you got this value, from -8 you got this value, and so on. So this is how you can get to your value. So first is the x part which you wanted to be on x side, and second is the y part which you wanted to be on the y side. So this is how you can plot it. Now there are several operations which we can perform because this plot is not looking like good. So let's say we want to make the grids on this plot. So in order to do that, we just have to do grid on, right? So this minor grid will appear. If we want to put some label on x-axis, we will put x label, and it will be I think x values, right? So we'll simply write x, and on y label we'll type y label, and it will be y. Okay, hello. Okay, and then on y side it appears y now. Now if let's say we want to put the title here, so we will simply write title, and it will be polynomial plot. Okay, that will appear right here. Now let's say you want to change the color of this graph. So let's say if I type plot comma y comma r, so it will come in the red color. But as soon as you execute this plot command again, the previous plot has gone. Okay, so it is like the entire thing so the new plot has overridden the earlier plot. So in order to avoid this issue, let's do this entire thing in a script. So let's create a script here. New. Okay, here we have to create so this file to demonstrate the plot, right? Okay, and then I will close this window. Okay, so close all. So this close command close all the plots, and as we have mentioned, this clear all command remove all the variables from the workspace, and then CLC. Okay, now we will create x as we did earlier, -10 to 10, and here comes our y equals to x square plus 4 into x plus 5. Okay, and it is test plot. We have saved the file with the same name, test underscore plot. Okay, so instead of doing that, this will be the entire code, and if we want to make it in red color, we'll simply type red. And let's say we want to change the width of that curve, we'll type here line width comma 1.5. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's run it. A plot will open. Okay, just give me a minute. I will add it to a figure. Okay, here. So here you have seen the plot is there, right? Now x label x, y label y, and everything. So this is about the simple plotting scheme which we generally use. Now there are several options which we can do, or we can play with this plotting. So prior to that, here comes our second question, right? So our second question is, how do we find the remainder of 2 after division? How do we find the remainder after division of two numbers in Matlab? I'm repeating it again. How do we find the remainder after division of two numbers in Matlab? So what is that command? Okay, so type fast. Okay, now in the meantime, let's continue where we left. Okay, now coming to the second part. So you have seen like how do we make this simple plotting. Now there are several kind of things which we can do with the plotting. Let's create a new file. Okay, so let's say we want to plot multiple things, but we want to plot on a different graphs. Okay, so here is graph 1. So something should be plotted here, and then there is another graph here, graph 2. So here we have plotted the same variable which we plotted right now, and let's say here we want to plot some random value. So here polynomial, and here we will type some random value. Okay, okay, so here's the graph 2. So how do we do that? Let's see in Matlab. Okay, okay, here it is. So we already have a graph there. Now there's a plot command, and let's generate some random values. So here we are plotting the polynomial. We have saved it, and then here we will plot a random number. That's it. Let's see if anyone has given the answer. Oh, okay. So here is the some random number. So let's first generate some random number. So you know the command rand is the command which is used to generate some random numbers of specific length, right? So let's do that. Where will we? Yep, here. So z equals to rand. So let's generate some 100 random numbers. Okay, so z equals to rand 1 comma 100, and then we want to plot it on a different graph. So prior to that, we will create this command. We'll write this command figure. So this figure command create a new plot, and then if we write this plot command, that will be plotted on the next row. Otherwise, if we don't use this figure command, it will override the previous graph. So we'll type plot z, right, and we will be plotting it in the blue color. Okay, so Jitendra Kumar has given the right answer. So here goes the price of 30 rupees cash price to him, and this will be transferred to his account after submitting the details. Okay, we'll share the link with him. Okay, Jiten, you can mention your mail ID so that we can send you the link of the form. Okay, now this is the plot Z. Now coming back to our program, this plot Z. Okay, now let's run it. This file, there must be two plots now, figure 1 and figure 2. So give me some time. Okay, so okay, so we will add the another figure so that I can show you. Let's go to scene. Okay, so here you can see the two plot has been done. Polynomial plot, the first plot which we created, and this is the second plot. Okay, so let's type the everything x label. So right now we have not provided some x values, so these are the index number, or we can say the sample number, right? And then y label will be the magnitude. So as you mentioned, this rand command generates some random numbers in the range of 0 to 1, and then we'll put title random plot. Okay, so let's run it again. Okay, so both the plots have been visible to you, so right. Okay, so this is the random plot and this is the polynomial plot. So now you know how to create two plots on a different figure. Now some of the times while writing some research papers or something, you come across different kind of scenario, right? So let's go to figure. Yeah, let's go to file and create new. Okay, so now your requirement could be within the same graph, right? Within this same graph you want multiple plots. That's the first plot here, second plot here, and you want third plot like this here. Okay, so how can we do that? So there is a specific command for this that is known as the this kind of situation is known as the subplotting. Okay, so there is a command, this subplot. It divides this entire screen into the session. So if I talk about, as we have mentioned, there are some rows and the columns, right? So the rows, these are the rows and these are the columns. So we have to type like subplot, and then here is the row number and here is the column number, right? And the here comes the plot number. The plot number is a little trick. So let's say you have this one and you have divided this entire screen into two rows, 1 2, and the two columns, 1 2. So the plot number goes like this: 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, so now for this, if you want to plot at this location, right, so you have to write like subplot sub. Okay, you have to write like subplot 2 rows 2 column and the plot number 4, because 2 rows and 2 column create 4 plots, right? Similarly, if you want to write like here, so you have to write like subplot 2 comma 2 comma 1, right? Similarly, let's say in this case you want to plot in this bigger graph, right? In this graph, so this graph is mentioned like it is subplot when 2 rows but 1 column, right? So 2 comma 1 comma 2, and within the same graph if you want to plot it here, you have to write like subplot 2 comma 2 comma 1. So for this it will go here. Okay, so let's see this entire thing into the Matlab. That means like how to do this thing in Matlab. So we will be plotting our some graph, our first graph in this plot, and the second graph, the random number, in this plot, and we'll be putting some like random values and x label and y label. Everything will be mentioned there as well. Okay, so let's go to the Matlab. Okay, so we have already our program there, right? The only thing is we have to plot, so we will make it subplot 2 comma 2 comma 1, right? And then here we will remove this figure command, we'll comment it and we'll type subplot 2 comma 1 comma 2. Okay, now let's see how it looks like. So here goes, yep. So let's see, screen. Okay, so here you see both the plots on the same graph. So X label, Y label, and title and everything is there. So by this command you can create any kind of plot. Okay, the only thing you have to keep track is to provide this the correct subplot. Okay, that is the only thing you have to take care of. Okay, so there is another situation as well. Come to the another situation. So we have dealt with different kind of situation. One is different graphs, then on the same graph in different areas. Now there is another way the plots can be made, like within there is a graph here, right? There is a graph here, and within this graph you plot both the graphs, right? So let's say we have two plots. Let's say here we have our sine wave, and then on the same graph we want to make it a cos wave, and then we want to put a legend here which curve shows. Okay, so the thing is uh, the equation for this graph is, let's say, x equals to sine omega t, and the equation for this another graph is y equals to cos omega t. Okay, so the idea is to generate or to plot both the graphs in the same figure. So you may have seen this kind of plots in several research papers. So it is a quite important graph. So that can be done very easily with the help of Matlab. Okay, so let's do that now. Now what we want to do, we want to plot both the things, right, on the same graph. Okay, let's do that. So there is a command. So first of all we'll create this subplot as this. Okay, now there is a command hold on. So if after first plot we put hold on, so that means the next plot will be plotted on the same graph. Now if you want to plot both the graphs, both the things on the same graph, please mention the x-axis is same. So right now there are two different graphs, y and z, and these are two with different indexes because the size is also different, but z is of 100 and y is of 21. So now if we run it, we'll get a different kind of graphs, right? So here is red curve shows the polynomial plot, and this blue curve shows the here in the downsides. This blue curve shows the graph related to this one, random numbers, because the random numbers were in the range of 0 to 1 only. So we should plot both the comparable graphs. So in order to do that, this is the y, right, and we have created this polynomial. So for the same values of y, we will create a different polynomial. Okay, so instead of z, we will be plotting different polynomial here. So let's say z equals to, now let's say 2 into x square. So because you have to do element by element, and then 10 into x plus 20. Okay, so now our x-axis is x only and z. Now we want to put with different symbol, so we put here this colon sign. We'll draw the graph in different line. and here we can provide the legend, like here legend, and then first is the polynomial 1 and the second graph is polynomial 2. Okay, so let's run it now. Yes, it is visible here, but you may not be able to see it, so let's add to that screen. So here it is. Here. Okay, so the because we have to remove this, right? And then yeah, of course from -10 to 10 it is taking too much space, so let's make it to -100 to 100, and yeah, okay, and let's make double dash sign. Let's run it. Okay. So here you will see, so here you have seen this graph. There is a blue curve shows the polynomial 2 and the same is represented here, polynomial 2. The red curve shows the polynomial 1. This is how you can put two different graphs at the same graph simultaneously. So this was related to the polynomial plots. The more can be found from here if you simply type plot in the search box of the Matlab. It will take some time and it will give you all the things about plot. Okay, so if you go here in the plot here, so you can see a lot of things have been provided about this, so you can do it, and different kind of notations can be used within this as well. Okay, now coming this was all about line plots which we have mentioned, and this was about 2D plots. Similarly, there are lots of other plots are there which can be helpful as well. So let's say if we have stem command, there is also some stem plot. So stem command can also be used instead of this plot, and you go to editor and then you press this run button. So the stem plot will be plotted on the same graph. So this blue curve, so it takes the sample number and goes back to the index. Okay, so that is why you are getting this kind of plot where blue curve is the polynomial 2 and red curve is the polynomial 1. Okay. So that was interesting. So let's take okay, so that is for the plots. So there are lots of plot are available. If you go to plot section, and then you will find lots of plot are available there, and depending on the kind of the data you can select or plot any one of them. So again it should be as per your requirement only. So let's plot some histogram. Okay, let's make it Z, again some random numbers. Okay, we throw an error, so we are just generating Z as a random number. So now if you select Z and go to plots, select Z and go to plot and click on histogram, you will get the histogram of those random numbers 100. So it is more like a Gaussian plot at times. Let's create more random numbers, 1000. And if we go again to the plots, again histogram, yeah, it is a uniform distribution, you can say. Okay, so I hope you have understand the different kind of plots in Matlab, and Today only one student was able to give the answer and he has won 30 rupees. Similarly, in the next classes, more questions will be there and will come with some new topic for this live session as well. So finally, we also provide online training, help in technical assignments. We also do freelance project based on data science, Python, machine learning, etc. So if you have any such requirement, then you can let us know by contacting the website, which is www.jcbrolabs.org, or you can also mail us at info@jcbrolabs.org. So that's it for this video. Thank you. And if you have any doubt or any query, then you can either comment below this video or you can also mail us at info@jcbrolabs.org. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you.